Good afternoon, class. We are now going to learn the final quadratic we're trying to factorize, the hardest one. So, it is a quadratic that looks something like this. Okay, so I've entitled this Factorizing a quadratic where coefficient does not equal 1. So here the coefficient is 5. And I've said this is type 3, irreducible. This is the hardest type. So the first thing to check is, can we make it easier? Can we divide everything by 5? Is 5 a common factor? No, it's not. What about, is it the difference of two squares? And what does the difference of two squares mean? That's something like this. We've got a square here, 4x squared, and a square number here, minus 9. And there's no x term. Is that our situation? No, it's not, because we've got negative 4x. So it's not you can't take out a common factor, and it's not the difference of two squares. So we've got nothing left to do except multiply everything by 5. So we're going to times everything by 5. So I get 25x squared minus 20x plus 5. Now what we do is we take out 5x as a common factor. So I'll just write that on the side here. We're going to take out 5x as a common factor. So 25x squared becomes 5x all squared. Negative 20x becomes how many lots of 5x? And the 5, it has no x on it, so we just leave it alone. Now what we've done now is we've turned it into a normal quadratic. We've got something squared minus 4 of something plus 5. This is just a normal quadratic now. So what do we have to do? We have to find a number that times together to make negative 5 and adds together to make negative 4. So let's see what we can think of. It could be negative 1 times 5. But they don't add up to negative 4. What about negative 5 times 1? Cool, that works. Negative 5 and 1 times together to make negative 5 and add together to make negative 4. So now I can factorize it. I've got negative 5 and plus 1. But now here's something that's a little bit different. Because this whole thing was 5x squared and 5x, we need to put 5x in here. 5x and 5x. Alright, we're almost done. But what will happen in these ones is because at the start we times everything by 5, we're going to be able to take out a common factor. So here, this whole bracket, this whole term here, we can take out 5 as a common factor. Now, we're almost done. You remember right at the start we times everything by 5. So now we're going to have to divide by 5. Which just cancels out our 5. And we're finally left with our quadratic is x minus 1 times 5x plus 1. So, we have successfully factorized our quadratic. There's quite a lot to those steps, so what I'll do is I will give you a practice question and then we can do it together. Let me just recap what we did. So first thing we noticed, our coefficient wasn't 1. First we checked, can we divide everything by 5? No, we can't. Is it the difference of two square numbers? No, it's not. So we're in the worst situation. It's irreducible. We can't reduce it to something easier. So we times everything by this number, the coefficient, we times it all by 5. Then we took out 5x as a common factor. And now we notice it's just a normal quadratic. We've got a plus 5 and a minus 4. So we just did our normal method that we know how to do. And we got these two brackets here. Then what we noticed is we could take out a common factor. So we did that. We took out 5 as a common factor. And then we remember that at the start we times everything by 5. So now we have to divide everything by 5. And that gives our final answer. Alright, so here is the question for you. I'll do it with an M because that's the one in your New Lake book on page 35. So pause the video and have a go at it now. Alright, welcome back. So you notice the coefficient was 3. You couldn't divide everything by 3 because of 13. And it wasn't difference of two squares because these aren't square numbers and you have an M term. So we're in the worst situation. We're going to times everything by 3. So we get 9m squared plus 39m plus 36. And then we're going to rewrite everything with a 3m in brackets. So that's 3m squared is 9m squared plus, how many lots of 3m do we have? 13 plus 36. Now we've just got a normal quadratic. What are two numbers that times together to make 36 and add together to make 13? This would have taken you a bit of time because there's lots of factors of 36, but it's 9 and 4. So we've got plus 9 and plus 4. And we put 3m because that's what we had in the brackets. Now, there will be a common factor. This here, 3 is a common factor. And the final thing to do is we have to divide everything by 3 because at the start we times everything by 3. And there we have the final answer. I'll just write it out here in full in red. M plus 3 times 3m plus 4. So well done on that. Thank you. See you next time.